So, welcome back to Career Power Hyderabad. So, students, today we'll discuss the current affairs related to 12th June 2021. So, first we'll go into the details, the headlines. So, you can see the headlines on the screen. So, the first headline for today, so who was elected as the president of Mongolia? So, State Bank of India, they launched a new personal loan mainly for COVID. So, what is the name of the personal loan? So, who was elected to the International Association of Ultra Runners Council? Next, All India survey on higher education was released by the Department of Higher Education. So, we'll see the details mentioned in the survey. So, 2021 Pulitzer Prizes were announced by the Columbia University. And so, which bank has topped the world's best bank list in India? So, next current affairs you can see, so which city to host the Indian Grand Prix for? So, World Day Against Child Labor is observed on which day? So, Padma Shri awardee and eminent environmentalist. So, he passed away recently. So, who is the person? So, noted Kannada poet, mainly the Dalit poet. So, he recently passed away due to COVID. So, we need to know who is the person. So, an Olympian, Asian Games winner. So, he recently passed away. So, we need to see who is the person. So, these are all the headlines today. So, we will go into the detailed analysis. So, the first one, international news. So, ex-Mongolian Prime Minister, okay, so he's an ex-Mongolian Prime Minister, Kurulshuk, he recently won the presidential election. So, Ukna Kurulshuk has been elected as the president of Mongolia. So, he belongs to the ruling Mongolian People's Party. So recently, in the month of Jan, he resigned to the post of Prime Minister because of some protests by the health sector. So in June 2021, election for president happened, and in the election, he almost won nearly 76% of votes. So very successful person. So he is also a wrestler and the chairman of the Mongolian People's Party. So he brought a lot of reforms in Mongolia, and he also he regulated the COVID situation in the country. He monitored the entire COVID situation. So this is all about few details about Kurilshuk. So the capital of Mongolia, Ulaanbaatar, and the currency of Mongolia, Mongolian Tugrik. So please also remember these things. The capital of Mongolia, Ulaanbaatar, and the Mongolian currency, Mongolian Tugrik. And who is the new president of Mongolia? Ukna Kurilshuk. Kurilshuk. Okay. So we'll go into the next current affair, banking news. So as I said, State Bank of India has launched a new personal loan, and the name of the new personal loan is Kavach. So it is mainly for COVID-19 patients. So recently RBI gave some directive. So the directive was in order to provide loans for the COVID infected patients. So RBI said to start every bank to have a COVID loan book. So, special loans will be given for COVID infected patients on the name of Kavach by SBI. It's a collateral free loan, so you need no need to have any mortgage for it. So, mainly this loan will be provided to meet their medical expenses. So, total loan is up to 5 lakhs. So, 5 lakhs loan will be given with an interest rate of 8.5% per annum for nearly 60 months. Okay, so the total loan amount is 5 lakhs. So you can avail 5 lakhs loan at an interest rate of 8.5% per annum per year for 60 months period. Okay, so this loan is a part of the COVID loan book which is created by RBI. So RBI recently they created a COVID loan book. So in this COVID loan book, loans will be given by every bank for COVID infected persons or COVID affected families. So the chairman of SBI is Dinesh Kumar, also remember it. Headquarters of SBI, Mumbai, and SBI was formed in the year 1955. Okay, so this is about the banking news. So now we will go into appointments, important appointment. So Adiga Nagaraj. who belongs to India, he was elected to the International Association of Ultra Runners Council. Okay, so this is a body which governs the ultra running and race events which are longer than the marathon distance. So it's a body which governs the ultra running and race events which are longer than the marathon distance. So generally they conduct marathons of 50 kilometer, 100 kilometer, 200 kilometer, 24 hours running competitions around the world. So IAU, International Association of Ultra Runners, so formed in the year 1984 and headquarters is present in Monaco. So it is formed in the year 1984, headquarters is present in Monaco. Monaco is present in Europe, near to Italy. So for this association, there are some representatives. So Nagaraj was elected as the Asia Oceania representative. So he represents the Asia and the Oceania region. So recently elections were conducted for the 2021 group. So he was elected as the Asia Oceania representative. So this Nagaraj works closely with the Athletics Federation of India to promote health, to promote fitness, to promote sportsmen, young emerging sportsmen. So he works closely with the Athletics Federation of India. So this is about the new appointment by the International Association of Ultra Runners Council, and Nagaraj from India is elected as the Asia Oceania representative. Okay. So next is about ranks and reports. So All India Survey on Higher Education. So this survey is conducted every year by the Department of Higher Education. Okay. So this survey is released by our Union Education Minister Ramesh Pokhriyal Nishank. So he released the report for 2019-2020. So in this report there are some observations. So we need to remember for our examination. So the first observation is about the total enrollment in higher education. So for the year 2019-2020, the total enrollment in higher education was 38.5 million. So 38.5 million students, they enrolled in higher education. And the gross enrollment ratio in higher education is 27%. The gross enrollment ratio in higher education is 27%. So what is this gross enrollment ratio? So simply gross enrollment ratio means the number of students enrolled in a school at several different grade levels. Okay. So it is simply the number of students enrolled in a school at several different grade levels. Take example of primary school. So total number of students present in the country and total number of students enrolled into school. Okay. So not every child will enroll into school. Some may not attend schools. So gross enrollment ratio means for the total population, for the total student population, how many are enrolling in schools? For the total children or total students, how many are enrolling into schools is the gross enrollment ratio. So which is very less, 27%. That means for every 100 children, only 27 are attending higher education. So very less in India. Okay. So next is the pupil teacher ratio, student teacher ratio in universities and colleges is just 28. So student teacher ratio is 28, and the share of female students is very low, mainly in institutes of national importance like IIT, NITs. So the ratio of female students is very low, mainly in IITs, NITs, deemed universities, government colleges and state private universities. So very low in these particular institutions. And coming to the foreign students who are enrolled in higher education, there are 49,348 foreign students enrolled in higher education. So in India there are nearly 49,348 foreign students enrolled in higher education. So institutes in India are categorized into three categories. So first one is universities. So there are nearly 1043 universities. Colleges, 42,343 colleges, and stand-alone institutions, simply nothing but diploma institutions. So diploma institutions are nearly 11,779 institutions. So this is the report about the total institutions in India. So universities, colleges and stand-alone institutions, which are simply polytechnics or diploma institutions. So next is about the college density. So college density is simply the number of colleges per lakh eligible population. So eligible population is something around 18 age to 23 age. So 18 to 23 years age group is the eligible population for education. So college density, that means the number of colleges per eligible population, 1 lakh eligible population is just 30. Okay. So the foreign students, we discussed about foreign students. How many foreign students? So 49,348 foreign students are present in India, and the major share of foreign students is from Nepal, who are nearly 28%. So mostly foreign students are from our neighboring countries, Nepal, Bhutan, Sri Lanka, Myanmar, all these places, and Bangladesh. And from this total foreign students, nearly 28% are from Nepal itself. So coming to teachers, so there are 15 lakh teachers in India, and in these teachers, for every 100 male teachers, there are only 74 female teachers. So the female teacher ratio is very low. For every 100 male teachers, there are only 74 female teachers. So very low percentage of female teachers in India. Okay. So the next point is about graduations. So nearly 20 lakh students have graduated in arts courses. So in India, so total 20 lakh students graduated in arts courses. Okay. So this is about the All India Survey on Higher Education. So this survey is conducted every year by the Department of Higher Education. So please by heart, the total enrollment in higher education is 38.5 million. Gross enrollment ratio is 27%, very low. Pupil teacher ratio is 28. Total number of foreign students 49,348. Total institutes are categorized into 3: universities, colleges, standalone institutions. So college density is 30. Highest number of foreign students are from Nepal. Total number of teachers are 15 lakhs, and there are only 74 female teachers for every 100 male teachers. So highest number of students, they graduated in arts background. So how many students have graduated in arts background? Nearly 20.7 lakh students graduated in arts background. Okay. So very important survey. So please by heart these details. So very important for your examination. So next we will go into awards. So 2021 Pulitzer Prize was announced, and Pulitzer Prize is mainly awarded for journalism. It's like a Nobel for journalism. So awards were given in newspaper, magazine, online journalism, literature, musical composition, mainly in the United States. So this award is presented for United States, mainly in the United States. So it is first published in 1917 by the will of Joseph Pulitzer. Okay. It is presently administered by the Columbia University, which is present in New York. So in this award, every person will be receiving a certificate and a cash award of 15,000 US dollars. And mainly the winner in public service category will be awarded a gold medal. So you can see the gold medal here. So the winner in public service category will be awarded a gold medal. Okay. So this is about the background of Pulitzer Prize. So 2021 Pulitzer Prize were announced, and this is mainly provided in journalism, literature and musical composition, mainly in the state of United States. So it is established in 1917 and it is administered by the Columbia University. So every winner will receive a certificate and a cash award, but the winner in public service category will be receiving a gold medal. You can see the gold medal here. Okay, so an Indian origin, Indian American, Megha Rajgopalan. So she received Pulitzer Prize in International Reporting category. So she wrote a report on Chinese atrocities on Muslims, mainly in the country, Chinese provinces. So how China is doing atrocities on the Chinese Muslims present in their country. So she wrote a report. So she was awarded the Pulitzer Prize in International Reporting category. So who was she? Indian origin, Indian American, Megha Rajgopalan. So please remember, maybe important, you may get a question on it. So important. So we'll go into some few prizes. So for public service, it is awarded to the New York Times newspaper. So fiction, awarded to the Night Watchman. Drama, awarded to the Hot Winking. Poetry, awarded to Post Colonial Love. Music, to Street. Okay, so these are few awards related to literature and music. So public service, New York Times, so they will get this gold medal. Fiction, Night Watchman. Drama, Hot Winking. Poetry, Post Colonial Love. Music, to Straight. Okay, so these are some Pulitzer Prize awards announced. So we'll go into the banking news. So banking news is about DBS, the Development Bank of Singapore Limited. So recently, Forbes magazine, they released a report called the world's best banks list mainly in India. So in India, what is the best bank? So according to Forbes magazine, DBS is the best bank in India. So DBS, Development Bank of Singapore Limited. So it ranked first among the 30 domestic and international banks in India. So DBS established DBS Bank India Limited in India. So it is working as the DBS Bank India Limited, and recently in November 2020 they acquired Lakshmi Vilas Bank. So RBI directed RBI directed Lakshmi Vilas Bank to be merged into DBS. So okay, so DBS acquired Lakshmi Vilas Bank in November 2020. So presently DBS has a network of 600 branches across 19 states in India. So the present CEO of DBS Bank India Limited is Surojit Sum, and it is headquartered in Mumbai. So generally mostly all the bank headquarters are present in Mumbai. Okay, so the DBS Bank CEO which is present in Singapore. So DBS Bank CEO which is present in Singapore is Piyush Gupta. So he is also an Indian. So DBS Bank CEO Piyush Gupta. So DBS is present in Singapore. DBS Bank India Private Limited, which is a subsidiary to DBS, is present in Mumbai. So it is the first in ranked first in the Forbes World's Best Banks list in India. So this is about the banking news. So now we'll go into sports news. So Athletics Federation of India, so they announced they will organize the Indian Grand Prix at Patiala. So Indian Grand Prix to be hosted at Patiala by the Athletics Federation of India from June 21st. Okay, in the same way, national interstate athletics competitions will be conducted from June 25th at the same venue, National Institute of Sports, Patiala. So these games are conducted to provide chance for our sprinters, star sprinters Dute Chand and Hima Das to qualify for Olympics, Tokyo Olympics 2020. So Tokyo Olympics 2020 to be conducted in July 2021. So next month. So Tokyo Olympics will be held in next month. So Hima Das and Dute Chand, they need to qualify for Olympics. They need to improve their athletics rank, world athletics ranking. So that is why, so Athletics Federation of India is conducting the Indian Grand Prix 4 to provide them a chance to improve their rank and also to have practice, because there is hardly less than a month. So they need to have a lot of practice to perform in Olympics. Okay, so Olympics is very prestigious. So in the same way, national interstate athletics competitions are also will be conducted in the National Institute of Sports, Patiala. So this Athletics Federation of India is formed in the year 1946 and it is headquartered in Delhi. So Athletics Federation of India is formed in 1946. Headquarters is in Delhi. Okay. So we'll go into the important days. So June 12th is observed as the World Day Against Child Labour. So June 12th is observed as the World Day Against Child Labour. So according to the International Labour Organization, so nearly there are about 152 million children across the globe who are engaged in child labour. So very large number. So nearly 152 million children are engaged in child labour, out of which 72 million are working in hazardous conditions. So out of which 72 million are working in very hazardous conditions. So it is very it's very poor situation of the child labour. So we need to eradicate this, we need to eliminate this child labour. So that is why June 12th is observed as the World Day Against Child Labour, and on this day we need to avoid industries, we need to create awareness among the public, industries, companies to avoid child labour. Okay. So and also 2021 is announced as the International Year for Elimination of Child Labour. So 2021 is announced as the International Year for Elimination of Child Labour. So the theme of 2021 is Act Now, End Child Labour. So the theme of 2021 is Act Now, End Child Labour. Okay. So these are the details about the World Day Against Child Labour. So remember, June 12, 2021 International Year for Elimination of Child Labour. Theme of 2021, Act Now, End Child Labour. So International Labour Organization was formed in the year 1919 and headquarters is in Geneva. So International Labour Organization was formed in 1919, headquarters is in Geneva. So now we'll go to persons in news. So today there are three important persons in news. So we'll see the first one is about Radha Mohan. So he is an eminent environmentalist, and also he worked as the Information Commissioner of Odisha and also lecturer of economics. So he, along with his daughter Sabarmati, they contributed a lot to the agriculture sector. Okay, so that is why he was awarded Padma Shri Award in 2020. So he and his daughter were awarded the Padma Shri Award in 2020 for their contributions to agriculture sector. So he started an organization called Sambhav. So using this Sambhav, a social organization, he educated farmers about the organic and natural farming. He educated farmers about the organic and natural farming. So he took a small piece of dry land, wasteland, and he converted it into a vast forest using only organic techniques, only cow dung, cow manure, bio fertilizers and all. So using organics, he converted a waste land into vast forest. So he also started a program called Adopt a Seed, and he encouraged all the people to plant more and more trees. So that is why the state government of Odisha has awarded him with Utkal Seva Samman. So state government of Odisha has awarded him with Utkal Seva Samman for his contributions for agriculture and environment. In the same way, United Nations Environment Program, so they have honored him with the Global Roll of Honor. So they have honored him with the Global Roll of Honor. So this is about Radha Mohan. So Radha Mohan, he recently passed away with some comorbidities. So he worked as the Information Commissioner of Odisha and lecturer of economics. So he was awarded Padma Shri for his contribution in agriculture. So he is credited for converting a wasteland into a vast forest with multiple species. He also encouraged people to grow black rice, soya beans and all. So which were like we are not commercially cultivating these. So age old traditional food. So he founded the Sambhav, a social organization to educate farmers. So he started a new initiative called Adopt a Seed to grow more plants. So that is why state government has awarded him with Utkal Seva Samman, and United Nations Environment Program has honored him with the Global Roll of Honor. Okay. So next person is about Siddhalingayya. So he is a prominent Dalit poet of Karnataka. So first prominent Dalit poet of Karnataka. He is known by the name Dalita Kavi. He is called Dalita Kavi. So he launched the Dalit Bandiya literary movement, and he also started the genre of Dalit writing. So he is prominently the Dalit poets in Karnataka. So he used to educate the Dalits. He used to like expose the exploitation done for Dalits, and he used to educate all the local representatives, the people representatives, to fight against the Dalit movement. So he is one of the founders of Dalita Sangraha Samiti in the state. He used to fight for the Dalit rights. So he is the founder of Dalita Sangraha Samiti. So his autobiography Urukeri was published in 1997. So this is about Siddhalingaya. So Siddhalingaya is a prominent Dalit poet of Karnataka who recently passed away due to COVID-19. So he is known by the title Dalita Kavi. Okay. So see all the details. So he is the founder of Dalita Sangraha Samiti, and he launched the Dalita Bandiya literary movement, and his autobiography is Urukeri. So the last current affair for today is about Surat Singh Mathur. So he is the first Olympian, one of the first Olympians of India. So he recently passed away. So he is the first from independent India to complete a marathon in 1952 Helsinki Olympics. So he is the first to complete a marathon. Earlier, before than Surat Singh, Chota Singh also participated in the 1948 London Games. So Chota Singh participated in 1948 London Games, but he couldn't complete the marathon. But in 1952 Olympics, Surat Singh completed the marathon. So he completed the marathon in 2 hours 52 minutes. So he is the first Indian to complete a marathon in 1952 Olympics. And also, so both Chota Singh and Surat Singh, so both of them participated in the 1951 Asian Games. Chota Singh won gold and Surat Singh Mathur won bronze. So both of them participated in 1951 Asian Games. So Chota Singh won gold and Mathur Singh won bronze. And afterwards, Surat Singh has defeated Chota Singh in national athletics championships. So this is about the Olympian Surat Singh Mathur. So he is the first from independent India to complete a marathon in 1952 Olympics, and in 1951 Asian Games, Chota Singh won gold and Surat Singh Mathur took bronze medal. So these are the current affairs for today. So we'll have a revision of the current affairs by one words. So this one words is very easy to remember and very useful during your examination in the last days of preparation. So first current affair for today, we'll have a revision. So the president of Mongolia, Ukna Kurulshuk. So SBI launched Kavach personal loan. Adiga Nagaraj was elected to the International Association of Ultra Runners Council. So all India survey on higher education was released. So go into all the details, the total enrollment, total gross enrollment ratio, total foreign students, total teachers, pupil teacher ratio, all these things. So see all the details. So 2021 Pulitzer prizes were announced, and Megha Rajgopalan was given award in the international reporting category. So who is an Indian American. And also see the awards in public service for New York Times, in music, dance and all these things. Okay. So Forbes world's best banks list in India, and who topped the list? It is DBS Bank, the Development Bank of Singapore. So next one is Patiala. So Patiala to host the Indian Grand Prix 4. So World Day Against Child Labour is observed on June 12th. So Padma Shri awardee and environmentalist who expired recently was Radha Mohan. So Kannada Dalit poet who expired was Siddhalingaya. Olympian who recently expired was Surat Singh Mathur. So these are the current affairs for today. So we'll meet in the next class and we'll discuss the next current affairs. Until then, take care and please study these current affairs and also do the MCQs in our Telegram app.